Picture this. It's 1870, and you're perched on a bicycle with a front wheel so big it looks like it belongs on a tractor. You're wobbling down a cobblestone street, praying you don't faceplant. Fast forward 150 years, and now we're cruising on electric bikes that practically fly, with motors, GPS, and batteries that could power a small spaceship. How did we get here? How did the humble bicycle go from a quirky, dangerous contraption to a global icon of freedom, innovation, and eco-friendly transport? Buckle up, or I guess, pedal up. Because today we're diving into the wild, incredible story of bicycle evolution. From Penny-Farthings to e-bikes, from dusty trails to city streets, this is a ride you won't forget. Oh, and stick around to the end, because we're going to peek into the future of bikes. Think self-driving cycles, cargo bikes that could replace delivery trucks, and tech that'll blow your mind. Let's roll. Let's start at the beginning, way back in the early 1800s. Bicycles, as we know them, didn't exist yet, but people were itching for a way to get around faster than walking without relying on horses. Enter the Draisine, invented in 1817 by a German guy named Draisine. This thing was basically a wooden plank with two wheels, no pedals, and a whole lot of awkwardness. You'd sit on it, push off with your feet, and hope for the best. It wasn't pretty, but it was a start. The Draisine was a hit for like 5 minutes, but it had problems. It was heavy, clunky, and let's be honest, running everywhere got old fast. So inventors started tinkering. By the 1860s, a French mechanic named Pierre Michaud had a light bulb moment. What if you added pedals to the front wheel? Boom, the velocipede was born. People called it the bone shaker because, well, it shook your bones. Those solid iron wheels on cobblestone roads? Ouch! But the velocipede was just a warm-up. By the 1870s, we got the real star of early cycling, the Penny-Farthing. If you've ever seen one of these, you know it's wild. The front wheel was massive, like 5 feet tall, and the back wheel was tiny, like a penny next to a farthing coin. Hence the name. Why the giant wheel? Simple, no gears yet, so a bigger wheel meant you went faster with each pedal. But here's the catch. You were sitting way up high, like a circus performer on a unicycle. One wrong move and you were eating dirt. Now, Penny-Farthings were not for the faint of heart. They were expensive, hard to ride, and crashes were brutal. People called them ordinary bicycles, but there was nothing ordinary about them. Still, they became a cultural phenomenon. In the 1880s, young, daring men and even some women were riding these things in races, parades, and just to show off. Cycling clubs popped up in Europe and America, and the Penny-Farthing became a symbol of adventure and freedom. But let's be real. Penny-Farthings were a nightmare for most people. They were dangerous, impractical, and only the wealthy could afford them. The average person wasn't about to risk their neck just to get to the market. So inventors kept pushing. And in the 1880s, something game-changing happened. The safety bicycle. The safety bicycle was a revolution. 2 wheels the same size, a chain connecting the pedals to the back wheel, and a lower center of gravity. Suddenly, you didn't need to be a gymnast to ride a bike. It was stable, easier to control, and way less likely to send you flying over the handlebars. This was the bike that made cycling for everyone, not just daredevils. The safety bicycle didn't just change how bikes looked, it changed who could ride them. Women, kids, everyday workers, suddenly everyone could hop on a bike. And that's when cycling started to reshape the world. By the late 1880s, the safety bicycle was taking off, but it was still a luxury item. Most bikes were handcrafted, which meant they were pricey. That all changed with the rise of mass production. Factories in England, France, and the US started churning out bikes by the thousands, and prices dropped. By the 1890s, the bicycle boom was in full swing. One of the biggest breakthroughs was the diamond frame. You know that classic bike shape with 2 triangles? That's the diamond frame, and it's still the backbone of most bikes today. It was strong, lightweight, and perfect for mass production. Combine that with another genius invention, pneumatic tires, and you had a bike that was fast, comfortable, and ready to take over the world. Pneumatic tires were a game changer. Before them, bike wheels were either solid rubber or metal, which made every ride feel like you were sitting on a jackhammer. In 1888, a Scottish vet named John Dunlop came up with the idea of air-filled tires. Legend has it, he was trying to make his son's tricycle ride smoother. Those air cushions absorbed shocks and made bikes faster by reducing friction. Dunlop's tires caught on like wildfire, and soon every bike had them. But the bicycle boom wasn't just about tech, it was about freedom. For the first time, people could travel farther and faster without relying on horses or trains. Bikes were affordable, so workers could commute to factories, farmers could get to town, and kids could explore their neighborhoods. And let's talk about women for a second. Bikes were a total game changer for them. In the 1890s, women were expected to stay home, wear restrictive dresses, and avoid anything too adventurous. Bikes threw all that out the window. Women started riding in droves, and they ditched those heavy skirts for practical bloomers. Basically, pants. Susan B. Anthony, the women's rights icon, said bicycles did more to emancipate women than anything else in the world. That's how big this was. Bikes gave women independence, mobility, and a way to break free from society's rules. By the turn of the century, bicycles were everywhere. They were the ultimate democratizing force, cheap, reliable, and empowering. But the bike story was just getting started. The 20th century was about to bring a wave of innovations that would take cycling to new heights. As we rolled into the 1900s, bikes were no longer just a way to get around. They were a lifestyle. Racing became huge, with events like the Tour de France kicking off in 1903. Cyclists were pushing the limits of speed and endurance, and that meant bikes had to evolve. One of the biggest leaps? Gears. Before gears, every hill was a nightmare. You'd be pedaling like crazy, sweating buckets and barely moving. In the early 1900s, inventors started experimenting with gear systems. By the 1930s, derailleurs, those little mechanisms that shift the chain between sprockets, were becoming common. Gears let you adjust how hard you had to pedal, so you could climb steep hills or zoom down flats without burning out. Suddenly, bikes weren't just for flat city streets, they could go anywhere. But gears were just the start. Bike makers also got obsessed with materials. Early bikes were made of steel, which was strong but heavy. By the mid-20th century, manufacturers started using aluminum, which was lighter and didn't rust. Then, in the 1980s, carbon fiber came along. This stuff was like magic, super light, super strong, and perfect for high-performance bikes. Today's top racing bikes weigh less than a watermelon thanks to carbon fiber. And then there's mountain biking, which totally shook things up. In the 1970s, a group of California hippies started modifying old cruiser bikes to race down rugged hills. They added fat tires, sturdy frames, and better brakes. By the 1980s, mountain bikes were a global craze. They opened up a whole new world of off-road cycling, from muddy trails to rocky mountains. If you've ever gone mountain biking, you can thank those California dreamers. By the late 20th century, bikes were more diverse than ever. You had road bikes for speed, mountain bikes for adventure, BMX bikes for tricks, and hybrids for commuting. Cycling wasn't just transportation anymore, it was a culture. But the biggest revolution was still to come, and it had a little something to do with electricity. Alright, let's talk about the game changer of the 21st century, e-bikes. If you haven't ridden one, you're missing out. These things are like regular bikes, but with a superpower, a motor that gives you a boost when you pedal. They're fast, fun, and they're rewriting the rules of transportation. E-bikes aren't new technically. The idea goes back to the 1890s when inventors tried sticking motors on bikes. But those early versions were clunky, with heavy batteries and weak motors. It wasn't until the 1990s that e-bikes started to shine, thanks to better tech. Lithium-ion batteries made them lighter and longer lasting, while brushless motors made them powerful and efficient. By the 2010s, e-bikes were everywhere. So why are e-bikes such a big deal? For one, they're insanely practical. Commuting to work? An e-bike can get you there faster than a car in city traffic and you won't show up sweaty. Hills? No problem, the motor's got your back. Plus, they're accessible. People who might struggle with regular bikes, older folks, people with injuries, can ride e-bikes with ease. It's like cycling, but with a little cheat code. But e-bikes aren't just about convenience. They're a green revolution. Cars are one of the biggest sources of carbon emissions, and e-bikes are a way to fight back. They use a fraction of the energy of even the most efficient electric car. In cities like Amsterdam and Copenhagen, e-bikes are helping unclog streets and cut pollution. And here's a fun fact. In 2023, e-bike sales outpaced electric car sales in several European countries. That's how big this is. The tech behind e-bikes is pretty cool too. Modern batteries can last 50 miles or more on a single charge, and they recharge in a few hours. Motors are so smooth you barely notice them. And some e-bikes even have apps that let you adjust the power or track your ride. There are e-bikes for every vibe. Commuter models, mountain e-bikes, even cargo e-bikes that can carry groceries or kids. E-bikes are also changing how we think about urban mobility. Cities are building more bike lanes to keep up with the e-bike boom. Companies like Uber and Lyft are adding e-bikes to their fleets. And small businesses are using e-cargo bikes for deliveries, which is faster and cheaper than vans in crowded cities. It's like the bicycle boom of the 1890s, but with a modern electric twist. So where's the bicycle headed next? If you think e-bikes are cool, just wait. The future of cycling is packed with ideas that sound like sci-fi. Let's start with electric cargo bikes. These beefy bikes can carry hundreds of pounds, making them perfect for deliveries. Imagine a world where Amazon's delivery vans are replaced by silent, zero-emission cargo bikes. It's already happening in cities like Paris and New York. Then there's connected tech. Future bikes might come with built-in GPS, collision sensors, and even AI to suggest the safest routes. Some companies are working on smart bikes that lock themselves, track your fitness, and alert you if someone tries to steal them. And get this, there's talk of self-balancing bikes that could make learning to ride easier for kids or adults who never got the hang of it. Sustainability is a huge part of the future too. Bikes are already one of the greenest ways to get around, but innovators are pushing further. Some are designing bikes from recycled materials like plastic or bamboo. Others are working on solar-powered e-bikes that charge as you ride. And then there's the idea of bike sharing 2.0. Networks of dockless e-bikes you can rent with an app, making car-free cities a real possibility. But maybe the coolest thing about the future of bikes is how they're changing us. Cycling isn't just about getting from A to B, it's about health, community, and living lighter on the planet. Studies show regular cycling can add years to your life, cut stress, and boost your mood. In a world where we're glued to screens, bikes get us outside, moving, and connected to our neighborhoods. The bicycle story is one of constant reinvention. From the Wobbly Draisine to the high-flying Penny-Farthing, from the safety bike to the e-bike revolution, bikes have always been about pushing boundaries. They've given us freedom, empowered entire generations, and now they're leading the charge for a greener, healthier future. So next time you hop on a bike or an e-bike, remember, you're not just riding. You're part of a 200-year legacy of innovation, rebellion, and progress.
And that's the incredible story of the bicycle.
From a clunky wooden contraption to a sleek electric marvel, the bike has come a long way, and it's not done yet. So what's your take? Are you Team Penny-Farthing, Team e-bike, or maybe dreaming of that self-driving bike of the future? Drop a comment below and let us know. And if you loved this deep dive into cycling history, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Want to learn more about sustainable transport or the tech behind e-bikes? Check out the links in the description. Until next time, keep pedaling, keep exploring, and keep dreaming big. See you on the road.